A very good morning to all my dear children. So, children, let's begin today's class with a new chapter. Today, I'm going to teach you a poetry, and this poetry is the part of lesson 5 from your Magical Lantern book. The title of this poetry is The Poem, and it is written by Amy Lowell. Before I talk about this poem, children, I just want to share one of the incident of my life. Okay, so please give your attention, children. Do you know when I was of 11 or 12 years old, same of your age? My father brought a beautiful red bicycle for me. It was of Ladybird brand, and it has a beautiful basket also in front. And he had brought it with a great interest for me. Even he knew that I was engaged with my skates at that time, and I'm not going to use it much. But he liked, so he brought it for me. I also took it very carelessly with less interest, and left it in the garage, in my garage, and have not touched it for nearby 1 or 2 months. Being new, I have not given any attention to it. I have not gone for riding even on that. Okay, even I have not tried it once, and I was fully engaged with my skates. After 2-3 months, when I got bored with my skates, one day I decided to take a ride on it. When I have reached there, what I saw, that it was fully accumulated. I mean, it was fully the dust was accumulated on it. It was too dirty, almost looking like borrowed or the second hand bicycle. There was not a single sign of new thing, fresh thing. I was so disappointed that how can I ride such a bicycle with my friends that is looking very old, very dirty. At the same time, my father came and he read my face. He came to know what exactly I am thinking about. So he made me understand that as I have not given importance to that bicycle, I have not taken care of it, I have not dusted it properly, have not given any service to it. I should have given the oil, proper oiling. I should have done proper oiling to my bicycle if I have kept it with love and care, so that was going to retain as new as he has brought. But as I have ignored it, I have neglected it, have not given any attention, so it became dirty. It was a waste for me at that moment. Okay, but even then, I cleaned it up, I put oil to its chain, and after that, I enjoyed it nearby 2 to 3 years very nicely. So, Beta, when my father taught me that when we care something, whether it is a living thing or non-living thing, living thing means the people, the relations, and non-living things mean the things that we have. So when we give a proper care, proper love, and give importance to things, make them realize that yes, we love you, we care for you, you have importance in our life, so that thing keeps on existing. But when we don't care the things, we just ignore and don't give importance, so what happens, the thing is going to vanish from our life. That thing doesn't remain a part of our life. So I think that everybody will agree with me that we must try to make a good bounding with everything, whatever we have in our life, whether that are the relations that we make, or our family members, the people, the friends, or the things that we possess, our books, notebooks, bags, toys, our bicycle, even the plants that we have in our garden. We must give importance to them, we must give them good nurturing. Only then those all things bloom in a healthy way, and we feel happy to see them. Yes, so the poetry that we are going to read today also has the same message. Amy Lowell has tried to share that everything blooms with care and nurturing. when we provide a good care and good nurturing to anything, so that thing live for long. But if we ignore the things and leave them in the corner of our house or the cupboard, so that thing becomes a waste or rubbish for, okay. And when the thing is rubbish, it is going to be in a bin only. So beta, Amy Lowell, Amy Lowell, or whether you can say Amy Lawrence Lowell, was born on 9th Feb 1874 in United States. She was an American poet of great accomplishments. She has written many poems, essays, and had worked on literary biographies and translated the works of other writers also. She became interested and subsequently influenced by the culture of Southeast Asia. Lowell's poetry, composed after the Japanese genre of art, even the pictures of floating words, is one of her noteworthy creations. She also wrote haiku. What is haiku? Haiku is a form of poetry mainly popular in Japan. Her work is full of imaginary, and she was an imagist poet. Imagist poet means her most of the poetries are free verse, means the poems have an absence of rhyme, even then they sound like a poem, okay. And Lowell has written nearby 650 poems, and she posthumously won the Pulitzer Prize for her book What's O'Clock in 1926. She died on 12th May 1925 in United States. Now let's take a glance, and I explain you parallel to this poem. I want you all to please pay attention in your book. Cleared? Now let's go for the reading. The poem written by Amy Lowell. Before I start reading, children, this poem has only two stanzas. The first stanza is from it to sparkling. Okay? No, now this is up to wind, blowing wind. From it to up to blowing wind. And the second stanza starts from but if you take my twig to with other rubbish. Okay, in the first stanza, the poetess has tried to show that when we give a proper care, proper love to something, then what happens. But and in the second stanza, she has tried to show that if you neglect the things, if you don't care for the things, have a careless attitude towards the things, then what happens. Means the first stanza shows the bright part of the life when the life is in a happy state, and the second stanza, whereas the second stanza is showing the dark part of the life where the life finishes up. Okay, so now let's start with it is only a little twig. What is twig, children? This here on my screen you can see, this is twig एक branch है थोड़ी सी leaves के साथ, okay, पतली सी छोटी सी branch, okay. So it is only a little twig with a green bud at the end, but if you plant it and water it and set it where the sun will be above it, it will grow into a tall bush with many flowers and leaves which thrust hither and thither sparkling. From its roots will come freshness, and beneath it the grass blades will bend and recover themselves and clash one upon another in the blowing wind. What is Amy saying? Amy is saying that she has got a little twig. Okay, she has a little twig. So she is saying if you have a little twig and it has a green bud at the end, green bud means it has a life. Means if you plant it properly, as it is written. But if you plant it and water it, if you plant this green twig at such place where it will get a proper sunlight, and you water it regularly, provide it the water as much as it needs, okay, and set it where the sun will be above it, and this twig is going to get enough sunlight, it will grow into a tall bush with many flowers. So what will happen to that twig? That twig will bloom into a tall bush one day. And what will be there in that tall bush? That the branches of that tall bush will hang with beautiful flowers in bunches, and leaves which thrust hither and thither, sparkling. Hither and thither means, children, here and there. It is an old English word, like here is hither and there is thither. So hither, thither means here, there. And what will happen to that twig? When that twig will get proper sunlight, enough water, so it will bloom in a tall green bush which will have beautiful flowers on its branches, and will have green leaves also, and its green leaves will sparkle, will shine in the bright sunlight. From its root will come freshness, and beneath it the grass blades will bend and recover themselves and clash one upon another in the blowing wind. And what else will happen? That tall bush, that bush will emerge the green grass to grow in the beneath of it. It means in the shade of that bush, many herbs will also take life, they also will grow, okay. So that will happen, these all things, blooming of the flowers, the sparkling of your leaves, and the nurturing, the growing of the herbs in the beneath will be possible. When it will be possible? When the proper sunlight and water is given to that twig. Now let's read the second stanza. But if you take my twig and throw it into a closet, closet means a cupboard, with mouse traps and blunted tools, it will shrivel and waste. And someday, when you open the door, you will think it an old twisted nail and sweep it into the dustbin with other rubbish. And now, what the poetess is saying, she is saying that, but if you take my twig and throw it into a closet, but instead of planting it, watering it, if you throw it into a closet, if you shut that twig in a cupboard, then what will happen? With the other tools, with the other blunted tools, means with other wasteless things, the things that are not in use, if you are going to keep that twig with those things, it will shrivel and waste. Shrivel means it will dry up, it will be withered, मुरझा जाएगा, dry हो जाएगा, it will be a waste for you. And someday, when you open the door and when you are going to open that cupboard, what will you see? You will think it an old twisted nail, that as that twig has dried up, it's a dry piece of wood only. So what you are going to do with it? And sweep it into the dustbin with other rubbish. You are going to throw it into the dustbin. Now, children, try to understand the purpose of writing this poem. Why the poetess is talking about a twig and caring it, watering it. Why she is talking about like that? Actually, in this poem, Lowell has compared the life with a twig. Means twig is exactly a person's life or the talent. When you care for your life, when you give a good nurturing to your life, to your talent, so that blooms, that grows up into a beautiful plant. It will have beauty, it will have life, it will have happiness. But if you don't care for your life, if you don't care for your talent, then it is going to be finished one day. If you provide proper requirement means if you have any talent, okay, so practice with it every day. Give it extra information to it. Keep on updating that talent. If you god has granted you any skill, so keep on polishing it. If you don't do that, then it is going to die. It is not going to retain in you. You will forget it, you will lose it one day. As the twig turned to a dry, dead wood piece, without care, without love. In the same manner, if the God has granted me any talent, any skill, so we must care to it. We must provide it proper nurturing. Only then we are going to be, then only we are going to be recognized with that specific feature, that with that specific uh, talent. So that is the purpose, that is the main idea of this poem. The poet is trying to say us that like we tend to living things to help them grow, similarly we need to nurture our talents also. So this poem basically talks about the abundance. Abundance is what? The qualities that are hidden in us, that we have, that we possess. So this poem talks about the abundance hidden in each and everything of nature. This abundance can only be maintained if we follow the laws of nature. Laws of nature is what? The love and care. Don't ignore the things, don't neglect the things. Our life is like a twig. It will bear flowers only if we plant it in the soil of goodness and nurture it with the water of hard work and persistence. As the twig was planted in soil, in the same manner, what is the soil for our life? That soil is the goodness, a chai. We should be kind, polite, humble, very patient, hardworking, okay, and nurture it with the water of hard work and persistence. What is this hard work and persistence? If we do lots of hardship with ourselves, we keep on working, we never give up, we accept the challenge, we listen to others and follow them, okay, and we have the quality of persistence, only then we come out as a successful human being. The sunlight is God's love for us. The sunlight that helps a plant to groom. So, what is that sunlight in our life? The God's love. God's love is His care, the luck that God grants to us. We get God's love. God means we, the luck works in our favor, children, when we are faithful to ourselves. If we are not loyal to ourselves, by sitting idle and praying every day, yes, I become intelligent, I will score good marks, by telling everybody, by shouting or repeating the same sentence every day, it's not going to make anything possible. If you really want to get something in life, you have to make efforts for that, and that efforts is your hard work. That not giving up, not leaving the things like that is your persistence. And when you possess these both qualities, hard work and persistence, you are going to get that thing one day in your life, and that will be God's love to you. Okay, so the life blooms into happy contently life in the sunlight of love, the water of hardship, and the soil of goodness. The life must be treasured, children, and given a fair chance to bloom. As a twig, our talent too needs attention and care to come up to fruition. Fruition means the state of that getting the fruit. Okay, now let's talk about the poetic devices of this poem. what is the meaning of poetic devices. Children, when we read something, or when something is created in literature, so the purpose behind that is expressing, or is expressing the poet's thoughts, plus teaching something to the society. A part of that poem, or that literature part, that prose, also teaches many parts of grammar also. Like here in this poem we get the example of figures of speeches. What is this figure of speeches? Suppose you have made a painting. Okay, now to make it bright, beautiful, you give a little touch of silver and golden color to it, or use some fluorescent colors to make it bright or attractive. In the same manner, in language or in literature, we use figure of speech. Figure of speech brings beauty to our language. It makes, it adds something extra to your words, its meaning. So that is called figure of speech. There are many figure of speeches, like two you can see on my screen: metaphor and personification. Same as there is simile and hyperbole, your irony, and many more are there. Some of only I can recall right now. And a metaphoria. Okay, so gradually when you move in the further classes, you will be learning more, but here in the poem, you are learning two of the figure of speeches. The first is metaphor. What is metaphor? Metaphor figure of speech is used when the comparison is made between two things. When the two things have some similarities and they have been compared to. So that is metaphor. Like in this poem, talent is compared to a twig. That twig has with a green bud. Means the poetess has that she has told that as twig uh, a twig blooms in a tall bush, a tall green bush, when it gets proper sunlight, care, love, and nurturing. In the same manner, talents also bloom if it gets proper attention, proper knowledge, proper practice. Okay, so here the comparison is made between the talent and twig. So, metaphor figure of speech is used. The second figure of speech is personification. Personification, what is personification? The attribution of a person's nature or characteristics in a non-human being. Non-human being means what are the attributes or characteristics of human being? Like we people walk, sleep, stand, talk, okay, jump, whatever action we do. So these all are our attributes. Okay, but when these terminologies are used in others reference, like for plants or non-living things, like we say na, the legs of table. So do the table have has legs? Do the tables have legs? No, they don't have legs. We human have legs, but this terminology legs is used in the reference of table. Okay, so here the personification is found. So whenever such kind of reference is given, means whenever human's characteristic is used in the reference of any non-human or non-living thing, so at that place personification figure of speech is found. So here in these lines, and beneath it the grass blades will bend and recover. Bending and recovering is the attributes, the characteristics of human beings. Okay, we people bend and recover. But here, and clashes also. Okay, but here these words are used in the reference of grass blades. Okay, so that's why personification, it is the example of personification. A part of that, this poem is a free verse poem. Free verse poem means where there is an absence of rhyme, or having a, or it has a regular rhyme. Like it employs the common pattern and rhyme of common speech. when you read such poem, the free verse poem, they sounds like a poem, but there is an absence of rhyming, with each line will end up with a different sound. Clear? So this twig, this the poem is a good example of free verse poem. Apart of that, this poem has a simplicity and clarity of expressions also. The words are so easy, it's very easy to understand what is the purpose of poetess writing behind it. The message that this poem conveys, you can be easily understand that good nurturing is very important for a good grooming. Okay, so basically the main idea of this poem is that there are two parts of everything: the bright part and the dark part. The bright part carries the happiness, hope, life, existence, while the dark part takes us towards the declination. Declination in sense means where there is a presence of ignorance, absence, negligence. Okay, so there the things are going to be finished one day. Uh, such things don't support the life, don't support the existence. If we really want to maintain the things in our life, so what we need to do, we need to give a proper love, proper care, proper importance to everything. Okay, we need to make the things realize that how important they are for you. Okay, you have to pay your attention, you have to devote a little time to them. Give your precious time to those things, those relations, those people. Only then they can understand that yes, you want them in your life. Okay, and they are going to retain forever. Even in such ambience, in such atmosphere, when you have lots of people around you, lots of happiness around you, you also love to live in. Okay, because there you have a peace of mind. Okay, you can carry forward the things easily in a healthy manner. Okay, children, so when somebody asks you to take care of something, or when you get something or are gifted with something, you must care for that. Okay, you must give importance to that thing. Same as you must take a good care of your uh, plants in the garden, the relations, the people that you have in your family, as well as the studies. When you, the books and notebooks you have, you must keep them properly covered, neat and proper. Okay, then the knowledge you will love. When you love your books and notebooks, so you are going to get the knowledge also. It is, even it is well said, books and notebooks somewhere are lively things, you know, they have life. When they get the sense that you love them, then only you get the wisdom. Okay, I hope the chapter must be clear to you, and the message that it wants to share with you, wants to convey you, must have reached to you all. That's all for today's class, children. Don't forget to read the poem once. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.